What is up, guys? Back for another video. It is a cooler day. It's about 39. And we are very late on getting into summers here. So most people are 60, 80, 90, 100, even 50s right now. And we get those, but right now we're 30, 38. So, but it's all right. It's sunny. We got the fountain running. It's gonna get 17 tonight. So I'm watching this. But we're gonna turn these on May 1st. It'll be warm enough, and if not, whatever, they're still getting turned on. So I want to give you guys a little update of the yard, the bushes. So we got some bad news too. As this, you guys don't know because I just created this channel last year. Coop boop, coop boop, coop boop. Oh, he's over there. Okay, I was looking for Coop. You guys know I just created this October of last year, which was recent compared to the projects we've done in this yard. But here, this is called the windmill planter. In each location of each windmill, there was a juniper shrub. More volular, though, than this, if that's a word. More spherical than this. This one was doing well the longest. These ones all died. The one that was here, here, and here, in between these spireas there. Them ones all died earlier, and there was also 3 in the potty area. But them ones were taken out even earlier because we made the potty area for the dogs. But then this one was survived until March of last year, and it went south. The whole shrub died pretty much and kind of sprung back, but it's probably going to come out because it's dying again by these 2 sedums there. But I wanted to just kind of give an update, and these are still doing all right. But that's kind of what happened there. So there was more there, and that's what this is, and it's going to be coming out too. And we're now having troubles with these 2 bushes in the front. Whoa! I thought that was a spider that just glided in front of me. We're now having trouble with these ones in the front here. So these bushes, I mean, with trees and bushes and stuff, nothing was done wrong with them. But for some reason, they're just ready to go again, I guess. Which really sucks. These were nice too. I don't know why they're all dying like this. Whether it's climate changings or whatever, but I'm noticing it all around town. And you can see the tips are just, when you brush your foot along them or your hand and stuff falls, you know it's dying. They get water. They don't get overwatered. They get watered though, and nothing's changed. They get pruned every other year. Usually they respond great to a pruning, so I don't know this one's kind of been going south for a while, but now it's really just starting, so it's widespread. Seems like conifers are just starting to go south in yards now. But the 2 trees are doing amazing. But we'll start to see some dead in those as it gets warm, because in the wintertime, when it's cooler, even 60 degrees, the cuttings that we cut when we did this project in November are still in the tree, providing green. But once it starts getting warm outside, those will immediately, once it hits 80, all the cuttings that are not connected to the tree anymore are going to change color. So they'll have to be kind of brushed out and blown off. Because that is something that happens. Don't freak out, your tree's dying. But yeah, sometimes they'll get like that. This yard is going to be raked before it's mowed, or we're going to suck it. That leads me, this project. I'm kind of sad about this. These trees have to go. I'm attempting, we're getting some tornado-like gusts. See over here, it's we're kind of in the middle of the tornado-like swirl winds. Oh, right there. Am I getting it on camera? You seen that wind? Right there by that spruce? Wow, that's crazy. You can see it whipping the branches around in its path as it doesn't care what's in its way. I find that so interesting. I don't know how the camera picked it up, but I could see it pretty well. It was just a whirlwind in that area. But anyway, this here looks like it's going back. Oh, it is. It's going back through the area now. What time is it? I'm going to mark this time. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. This is kind of cool. It is 4:29. I'm going to check back at that. It was whipping through the area back there. But here, you can see all the rocks that are left after I tried getting most of them out. And I did get about 17 5-gallon bucket loads out of this, let alone the 10 more that are left in the rocks that I'm not even going to do. So unfortunately, the 2 trees are going to have to come out because the whole planter is coming out. It's going to be concrete down on the ground, and I already did take a root off this spruce. You can see it there. This root ran from here all the way to here, which is where it stopped. And it went down a ways too, so they'll have that little tree. So imagine what something like that produces. I mean, just crazy. They're probably roots from that tree over here. I wouldn't doubt it. But So that's that project. That's going to be a big one. Which is going to suck. I'm transplanting the trees over there, but sometimes they're not the best transplantability. The daylilies. We just got the daylilies cleaned. And I had these cleaned for a while, but not this intensely. I haven't cleaned these type yet. I've cleaned the other type that I made a video about like April 3rd or something. I cleaned them type, but these type are a little different. As you can see there. So they look really nice and clean now and allow that green growth to come through. I don't know if this one, I know this one's usually last, but I don't know if it died or not. There's that daylily. It looks small, but it's still wet and kind of soggy, and I know it gets the least sun, but there is no signs of life on it. I have never experienced a daylily dying, so I highly doubt that's the case, as this one here is taking growth a lot slower too. But it's growing at least. This one we don't see one greenery yet. But this one here too is growing quite a bit of green, and these two are always the most. Once they get up to about this height though, you know, the ground, the dogs start trampling them. So these ones kind of have to battle a little bit, but they do pull through. The sedums are coming in. None of the conifers are doing anything yet. Sedums are coming in. Wish it was sunnier out for this video. Like I said, Coop Boop, Fred, Zag. Trying to make sure all these guys are in the yard. Zag! Zag! He's over there. Okay. Anyway. Okay. This here has not produced any growth. As it's conifer. Hasn't started. This is like these daylilies. Last to produce any growth. So I'm not even looking at that yet. I'll look at that probably come middle of May. This, though, is producing growth. This is usually the first one that starts doing that. So, yeah. I mean, you can see growth out of every tip on a plant. So hopefully the weather will start completely warming up, and we'll kind of get into a growth. Because these are trimmed so much nicer than they were last year. Like I said, I created this in October, so it doesn't really have the fountains off. The two dogwoods are not showing any signs yet. They are a later one, though. You can see some set buds ready on that tree. This one, even though I pruned it down, I pruned this one down this far last year. And this one I left a little higher than this, just to try and level them out. This one overtook it in June. The end of June, it was already bigger. So, I mean, this was a much bigger plant than this one. So I just cut them equal height. We're going to have one plant up this high and then the other one down there. This one's more vigorous as well, but they do get pruned down. We might even get a yellow twig dogwood for over there. We just don't know yet. This potentilla is actually coming in maybe even stronger than the other one this year, with tons of green growth. Although this one's kind of splotchy at first. It kind of produces in certain areas. You can see down here by the main branching out from the ground area there is where it has a lot of growth on it. So that's kind of nice. Even more than I think. This one over here, yeah. But this one's a little bigger. This one produces well. They fill right in. You'd think they'd be kind of dead in spots when they first start, but then they just go crazy and bloom right in. They grow fast. They need to be pruned twice a year, but I'm going to let everything just grow this year. I'm not going to touch a thing until come fall. I want to see what everything will do. These I wanted to leave. Oh, here's the other juniper. This thing has got side damage on it, as you can see. The sides of that plant are kind of dead looking, and that's called the dead zone on coniferous plants. So what happened was we didn't touch these plants. Before I got into the pruning and stuff, I'm doing this now, but before I got into it, the other person just didn't get to it, simply put. And these two dogwoods, and I did the pruning on all these to get them back under control when I started really getting into plants 3 years ago. But these dogwoods here were up over to this. You can see the line on the window. I mean, it's a good marker. They were this high. So keep an eye on that line. Come back. And that's how tall that plant was. Up to that window. The fountain was gone. We found a bunch of black widows in the fountain. I mean, we didn't use the fountain for 2 years because we literally almost forgot about it. This tree was a little shorter. It was about up to here, but I mean, it was still over the fountain. And look at the small, like, root crown on that, or whatever. I don't know what you call that on a shrub. Are you guys in there? These guys are scaring the crap out of me today. I'm thinking they're leaving the yard. I'm sorry about this. But I just gotta, we have some gate problems. Just gotta make sure everyone shuts these gates right and we're good to go. But this one is, and I mean, this one makes sense to be pretty huge. Must be a dog out there. So it makes sense, and it's got a lot, and I cut all that back. And that stuff still suckers out, but levels out in the year. This here, though, look at the small root crown, or root ball, or whatever section. I know on trees it's a root crown, but here, I don't know what it'd be called, the root ball, where everything comes up. That is small to produce a bush. I mean, these were huge too, but they were getting crowded over on one side. When we cut these, there was no growth on either side of these. This one was tortured by this plant. These are vigorous plants. So this area was the worst. Over here, these didn't get too much out of control. Mainly the potentaillas and dogwoods. The dogwoods really got out of control. Bury the fountain, you couldn't even see it. If someone moved here with the bushes like that, they wouldn't know there's a fountain there. We uncovered the bushes carefully with gloves. There's a bunch of black widows all over them. They all have migrated. A bunch of black widows in the fountain. We cleaned it well and use it now. But it was a for sure project to get that planter back in working order. This planter is the dirtiest, but the bushes I did prune up, give a nice prune. They do look really nice. This is called the windmill fountain. Makes some nice sounds when the wind blows, and some nice displays. So this is called the windmill planter. This bush here is getting destroyed. There is a cord that runs down there, so it's kind of a crazy setup. This cord was buried in water and ice, so we're kind of just being careful of this area. For now, it's a work in progress area. As we made the dog potty area, that's what was happening. So if we go over here and look in the dog potty area, it might be poop. I cleaned it this morning. No, not bad. Right here was nothing. This was a deck portion. And then right here, oh, no matter of a fact, I think right at this intersection, is there a dog down there? There must be something. But right at this kind of section here, maybe right in here actually, yeah, I think right in this area, on this pad we poured first, was one of them junipers, them bollular junipers. Or spherical junipers. I don't know, that's not even a word. Right here was one of them that I just showed you over behind there with the windmills. That, there was a spirea right there. Come over a little ways, or it was around this area. Come over a little ways, there was one of them nice purple bushes, and then there was a spirea, and in this corner there was one of them junipers. But all the junipers were already dead when we started the project. So, moving into, that's pretty much it. These were out of control too. I mean, everything was out of control. Not as bad though over here. The daylilies, we always kept up on them. That was doing its thing. And nothing else was really out of control. Even these were having some problems growing. As you can see how it's like curved in right there? That's from this plant. And the same over here, that's from this plant. I handled that last March. But now, if it was like it was before, you wouldn't be able to see up to here on this fountain from this distance away. That's how tall that middle bush was. The two side bushes didn't have a chance to grow really as good. Now they're really growing. So these bushes, watch out for spireas and dogwoods. They grow fast. These take a while to come on, but by the end of June, they're already this high. When we get back into town from our trip, we're looking at that high sometimes. And that's usually where it sits the rest of the year. But, yeah, most of the growth happens in June. But it's just so crazy how fast they do grow. But the backyard here is actually the most interesting kind of part. We do have these over here, which are doing nothing yet. These grow very weirdly. They will start from the bottom and look like they're dead in the middle. And then halfway to the end of June will lush out in the middle. They are really weird. Actually, I thought I killed them last year, but I didn't. So anyway, that's those. Those are going to do their thing. Those are bigger spirea plants. Large ones. This one gets nice. It's pretty full. It follows a weird pattern here. They all look the same right now while they're dormant, but let me tell you this. This one's really nice and full. Covers about to that cone, to that blue piece, and it's really nice and full. You couldn't reach your hand in there. One, because there's a bunch of bees on it, and two, because it's so full. This one here looks pretty much identical to that one. This one it's healthy, it grows taller, but it is not full at all. It does not grow full at all. It's very, like, not sparse. It has a lot of growth, and it does grow well, but it's not full. Like, you could just reach your hand in and touch this dead growth. That one you couldn't even dare. This one here, you might notice it looks a little smaller. It's having troubles. It is not growing as well, but it is the same as that. It grows where you could kind of reach in there. Not very full. And then what do you guess? This one here, just like the other end one, is the fullest in the yard. That one produces the most blooms, but this one here produces the most fullest, crowded most, but looks amazing type growth you'll get. And nothing looks different about the structure of any of these plants. The health is the same, except that one's worse. So this one gets so full, you have trouble getting a hedge pruner through it. And that video is posted sometime in October of these plants, and you can kind of see them. But before that freeze we had. But this one is so cool. I love this plant. Here we had some plants, but they died on both sides. And over here by these two junipers, or cedars, I mean, that we did prune severely, where these two coverings are in the middle there, and through some of the trees. Well, where the two coverings were years ago, we had plants, but they died a long time ago. Middle and through these trees now, through this tree, grows an invasive plant, and we can't seem to get rid of it. So we're kind of just dealing with that. Anyway, yeah, that is the whole yard in detail description. So we're ready for spring. But the daylilies are really, really nice, and they are coming in. These fountains we're going to keep off for May 1st. Last year they were on by May 1st, but if we get a freeze or something, we'll have to wait even longer, which is going to suck badly. Looks like we're going to be a little while more before we get into the warmer temperatures this year, maybe till like middle of May. But these fountains will probably be on May 1st, so we'll make the tour of that. We'll give them a good clean and get them running. So that should be pretty nice to get done there. This fountain is nice, but this can crack if it is exposed to weather, so I do want to be extra careful when I turn these on. That one there is plastic. It probably do the same, but the other one there is harder plastic. This one is also that, but it doesn't work. We're going to try and get this fountain to work, but we do not have the parts for it at the moment. We have the pump, but it needs this middle piece that will not fit onto the hole in the pump there. I bet we could figure something out, find a hose. It's a little cracked, but I bet we could just get a little hose, something like that. See, it fits cylindrically onto that. So we just need to maybe find a bigger fitting and just shove it in here. That crack should act as a little wedge maybe. So we'll figure this fountain out and get it running. But it's kind of we'll cut that cord off at the bottom there, because that's the old pump that's fished through. But it's gonna be nice to grace behind these plants come spring. So here's a look at the area. These two don't do much. These two Mugo pines, we cut off most of the candles because we had no choice, so they really don't do much. They do have some candles ready, but the ones that are cut, they candle out from the side, but they don't grow much. So they're kind of evergreens. They don't grow much. It's this the middle plant there, and I'm noticing pine cones all over since we had that huge windstorm, just these couple gusts. But this tree here grows extremely large. I mean, it'll fill in, it'll grace both these plants and over the fountain by the end of the summer there. And this one will do this. I mean, it'll get halfway in between both the other plants there. And the same with those and these dogwoods. This whole area is filled. I have to prune this dogwood away from this fountain, or it's dipping inside of the top fountain here and draining down the branch into the plant. So it can both rot the plant and it drains the water out of the fountain. So that happens with morning frost when it's getting later into the August months and stuff like that. So you just got to watch them plants. That one, it grows so slowly it doesn't really affect much. But this one, this gets crap done. So anyway, looks like some burning going on here. But I doubt there's anything wrong with those. Probably just not used to all the sun after being covered by that. But anyway, we will take a look. The next, it's not going to be this in detail. I just kind of wanted to give a backstory of this area and how everything was. And so I can look back at it later and see how it looked. But we'll give a less detailed guide or look around. I'm losing my mind. A less detailed look around probably May 19th, with the sunset being 9 o'clock. I want to get one in on May 19th. We'll see what it looks like then. Or if I have some news, I'll show it earlier. See you guys in the next one.